What if I told you the Cold War never ended? Sure, the Soviet Union collapsed, but like a phoenix from the ashes, a new kind of conflict rose. No longer a war of bombs, it's now a war of brains, budgets, and bits. A war that's not so cold anymore. It's the cool war, and it's happening all around us. Welcome to the channel. While the world remembers the Cold War for its nuclear standoff, what followed was even more subtle and just as dangerous. This is the story of the Cool War, a global chess game played with data, dollars, and influence instead of bullets. Part 1. Origins after the Cold War. After the Berlin Wall fell in 1989 and the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, many believed war was over. But beneath the peace, new forms of conflict emerged. Dead of tanks, nations fought with sanctions, trade, and technology. This was the birth of the Cool War. Part 2. Rise of economic warfare. In the 2000s, the battlefield moved to the marketplace. The US used its control of the dollar and SWIFT system as leverage. China rose through global trade, launching the Belt and Road Initiative. Sanctions became modern siege weapons, crippling economies without a shot fired. Part 3. The cyberfront. By the 2010s, war had gone digital. Cyberattacks targeted elections, power grids, hospitals. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea emerged as cyberpowers. The US and allies raced to defend and retaliate, often in silence. Part 4. The Info War. The Cool War is also a war of ideas. Authoritarian regimes export surveillance tech and censorship models. Western democracies battled disinformation and propaganda. Every tweet, every post part of the battlefield. Part 5. A multipolar world. Today, the Cool War is no longer just US versus China or Russia. It's a multipolar struggle involving the BRICS, NATO, ASEAN, and rising tech empires. The battlefield is global and every country is involved. Part 6. What comes next? Will this silent war turn hot, or will it redefine global power forever? In a world of AI weapons, digital borders, and economic blackmail, peace may depend on who wins the Cool War. Now let's get into it. Many believe that with the end of the Cold War, humanity entered a new era of peace. But this couldn't be further from the truth. As the Soviet Union collapsed, two superpowers emerged, the United States and China. For the first time in history, one nation held unrivaled global dominance. America's victory in the Cold War brought unparalleled economic and military strength, but this came at a cost. The US spent over $1 trillion during the Cold War, and by the end, nearly half of the federal budget went towards defense. So as the Soviet threat faded, this massive military spending became increasingly hard to justify. George Kennan famously described the Cold War as a long, tedious process of getting our competitors to exhaust themselves. And sure enough, the US did the same. Instead of guns, they turned to germs, launching the most ambitious biological weapons program in history. Realizing the power of soft power, they created Radio-Free Europe to spread democracy across the Iron Curtain. They weren't alone. Soon, everyone was fighting a new type of war. In the 1990s, Japanese Prime Minister turned US car maker and environmentalist. At the dawn of the 21st century, the global economy was tightly knit together. Conflicts were settled through tariffs, trade deals, and taxes. The US wielded the power of the dollar, controlling SWIFT, the global financial network, however, had a different plan. They would rise through trade. The Belt and Road Initiative was launched, connecting Asia, Africa, and Europe through infrastructure investments worth hundreds of billions. Then came sanctions, a weapon as old as war itself, but now more precise and potent than ever. From crippling Iran's oil exports to freezing Russia's foreign reserves, sanctions became the go-to strategy. But in the shadows, another threat loomed. By the 2010s, the battlefield had gone digital. Cyberattacks replaced soldiers. From anonymous taking down government websites to Stuxnet, sabotaging Iran's nuclear program, no one was safe. Russia allegedly interfered in the US elections, targeting voting machines and social media. The US and China amassed armies of digital warriors, launching constant cyber strikes that never made headlines. Part 4. The Info War. Beyond cyberattacks lurked an even deeper battle, the war of ideas. Authoritarian regimes presented themselves as beacons of progress, selling surveillance technology and censorship to anyone willing to buy. China's Belt and Road projects often came with strings attached, promoting their model of state capitalism alongside highways and high-speed rails. The US and its allies fought back with soft power, supporting media outlets, think tanks, and universities. But in this info war, the front lines are blurred. It's not just governments at war. Take Google, for instance. Their search algorithms have been accused of political bias, giving certain viewpoints less visibility. Then there's social media, where armies of bots and trolls spread misinformation and propaganda. Every platform becomes a new battleground. Every comment section a new front line. Part 6. A multipolar world. The war isn't just between the US and China anymore. It's become a free-fall. BRICS, nations, NATO, ASEAN, and tech giants are all fighting for their share of the spoils. Emerging economies like India and Indonesia are caught in the crossfire. Some side with the US, others with China. And some play both sides, pursuing non-alignment 2.2. The traditional rules of war have been thrown out the window. Take the South China Sea, for example. There are no tanks or fighter jets. Only advanced naval vessels equipped with missile defense systems and artificial islands built on top of reefs. This is the new war of economic attrition, of diplomatic maneuvering, and technological supremacy. As we stand on the brink of a new era, one question looms large. What comes next? Will this silent war escalate into open conflict? Will AI weapons blur the lines between war and peace? As the battle for global dominance intensifies, one thing is clear: the future belongs to those who win the cool war. And thank you for watching.